Hi, I'm Crystal, and I'll be presenting environmental threats. That's what I chose for my trend research and forecasting. And so here is my mood board. I really wanted my mood board to showcase both the problem and the solution. So here in the upper right part of it, I have fashion waste and pollution, specifically polluted water being one of the two things I wanted to focus on. And then the rest of it is solutions to those two problems. So we have natural dyes, using biodegradable fabrics, using non-traditional things for clothing, also having energy saving facilities and upcycling and using reconstructing items, garments, and then making them into something new. And so the big idea when it comes to environmental threats, specifically this trend, like I mentioned before, is fashion waste. Fashion waste is definitely one of the big factors. Clothing is either thrown away in landfills or burned. A lot of people think that donating them to Goodwill that they're doing their justice, but unfortunately, um, with that 28% being donated, less than 10%, specifically 7%, are being purchased. Um, the average American does throw away 81 pounds of clothing every year, which is mind blowing to me. And 92 million tons of clothes are thrown away globally, which is very high numbers. And a lot of the clothing that are thrown away or donated, they do end up in landfills. They are non-biodegradable because they're made of plastics such as polyester and whatnot. And so they spend up to 200 years in landfills because the earth cannot break it down and take it in. So they just sit there. And also pollution is another big idea when it comes to environmental threats. Water is contaminated with the dyes, and chemicals from those dyes are released during production process, so the water is no good. And the air pollution due to fumes and gases that comes from factories and transportations is also another big thing that we're seeing. And so specifically when it comes to the fashion industry, the influence that the environmental threats has on the industry, this one I would say is definitely one of the issues that the industry is trying to focus on and trying to fix. I know that we're having open discussions and finally being more open to talking about it. But with that being said, the fashion industry is the second industry with the highest contributing footprint at 10%. 70% does come from materials, production, preparation, and processing. And then the other 30% is associated with retail operations and the use and ends of all retail activities. So, the shopping bags, the tags, the barcode system, pretty much just the retail operations. 6% of brands have science-based targets to reduce emissions, while 69% haven't said if they're on track to meet goals, which is pretty much greenwashing. They say that they are, but realistically, they have yet stated a plan. And so one company that really takes this environmental trend and really does a good well at executing is Vera. They are based in California. They are a luxury women's apparel brand. They are GOTS certified and they use dead stock and recycled fabric, organic and sustainable materials. They have ethical production practices and use recyclable packaging. Specifically with them, they deliver clothing with a 5-piece capsule, which can be styled 30 different ways, reducing the amount of times the consumer has to go and purchase things compared to purchasing from Shein or a fast fashion brand. They have to constantly be buying things just because it's so poorly made. A good thing about them is that 70% of their energy within their production facilities, both based in New York and LA, are solar powered, reducing that pollution from travel. And then their trimmings, such as button and elastic, are made in the US. And here's a picture showing one of their glam capsules. And then here I pulled from their website how they style 30 different ways. And they do this for every single collection, helping the consumer get some outfit ideas. Another company that really embraces the environmental trend is Whimsy Plus Row. They are based in California. They're women's apparel, wedding, and accessories. They're made in the US. They use dead stock and certified organic materials. They have fair labor standards. They run limited batches. They are eco-friendly with their packaging, and they are carbon neutral. On their website, they post how they are meeting the objectives that they have and how much water they saved, pollution that they saved. A cool thing about them is that they recycle the scraps during production process, and their packaging is made from 95% post-consumer content, which is also made in the US. And a good thing about them is that they dedicate their shelf space to feature Black-owned businesses and to support them. And they're actually an advocate for POC. And so here is kind of a little bit about them. Here you can see I pulled from their website. This is showing the actual workers that make the clothing. And then they sell accessories such as sustainable bags that you can use for groceries. And here is kind of a feel for their brand. And then for the third and final brand that really embraces the environmental trend is called Girlfriend Collective. They are based in Washington, USA. They are SA 8000 certified with their production. They use recycled and sustainable materials. They have a circular take back initiative. They have inclusive sizing, which I wanted to include in the inclusive sizing brand because again, I feel that this whole sustainable environmental trend does go hand in hand, and I wanted to include that. They use recyclable packaging. They have eco-friendly dyes. They're specifically really known for their activewear, but they do also offer men's apparel, maternity, swimwear, and accessories. Again, their sizing is from extra, extra small to 6X. Per garment, they recycle 25 water bottles, which is pretty good. And they have saved 3.11 gallons of water up to date. And then here I wanted to again showcase kind of what they offer. They have men's apparel, they have women's activewear, they have maternity, they also have swimwear, and then they had a couple accessories such as socks. And so from the brand interpretation when it comes to this environmental threats trend, all three have certification either in production and or materials. Regardless, they do have certification from the sustainable left me, but sustainable regulations. Their impact they also help reduce water and air pollution. They use natural dyes, and specifically all three are very transparent. They have clear communications about their brand values, which is very important when it comes to environmental threats and trying to fix this problem. And most importantly, they use the dead stock fabrics that would end up in landfills to reduce the amount of textiles. And I included 2 quotes, just stating how sustainable fashion is the future, and fast fashion, someone is paying for it somewhere else. They're not able to afford meals or feed their family or live. And so here are my references. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.